This is ASOTU Unscripted, and I'm your host, Errol Bomar.
What's up, beautiful people? I hear all of those plates and forks and knives clinking. I hope you're having a great lunch. This is Errol Bomar. We're over here at the Unscripted stage, and I have something exciting. I actually am able to sit down, and I hope you're enjoying lunch because our next guest is part of the reason that is responsible for lunch. One of our sponsors here. Do me a favor. I know you can hear me, so do me a favor. Take just a pause from eating and help me give a round of applause for Owen Moon, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Clap it up. Clap it up. Owen, how are you?
Everyone's eating.
I know everyone's eating. They're like,
yes, sir.
But welcome. First off, I've got to ask you, did you bring talking points or things that you wanted to go over or cover? Or
No, not really. Not really. Just, we're a newer company. We launched in October of last year.
Okay.
We're doing some big things in the streaming advertising space. And so would love to just kind of maybe talk a little bit about that. So
good. I'm glad you didn't, because this was unscripted. If you had notes and you started to pull them out, I was going to throw them out.
You're going to throw them out? Nice.
I was going to throw them out. All right. So here's the question that I always ask.
Yes.
First off, is this your first ASOTUCon?
No, it's my third.
It's your third.
Yes,
well,
sir.
welcome back. I love that. So happy to have you here again for the third time. Looking forward to seeing you here next year.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your origin story, right? Every hero has an origin story, and not all heroes wear capes. Some wear nice. You did great. I love that blazer.
Yeah, thank you.
But tell me, how did you get into this world that we call the automotive industry?
Yeah, 25 years ago, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but 25 years ago, I got hired out of college to an ad agency that was 100% automotive focused.
Okay.
And I didn't know a lick about the automotive industry, never owned a new car in my life. And, in that first 2 years, really got a crash course in, what the dealership side was. I spent a lot of time in the stores, which isn't normal for a lot of marketing people. Most time they're on the backside or on the outside looking in. I got to sit in the trenches with a lot of dealer principals, general managers, things like that. And I think that kind of catapulted me over the next 25 years. And did a lot of agency work for a while, helping dealerships with branding and things like that. 2018, I had the opportunity to start a company called Fix Ops Digital.
Okay.
We grew that to about 850 dealership clients in 5 years, and we were acquired in 2023 by Trade Pending. So spent a year with them. I had a great time learning about vehicle acquisition and some of the things that Trade Pending does really well for stores. And when that kind of closure happened, my partner and I, old business partner from Fix Ops Digital, decided to kind of journey into the streaming advertising space.
Okay.
Because what we were noticing is that there's a lot of room there for growth,
yes.
Both from the consumer side, but also from how dealerships use that medium to attract both service and sales customers.
I love that. So when you're waking up in the morning, that's a great origin story, by the way. Now,
thank you.
When you're waking up in the morning, what's exciting you? And I know you said this is a newer company, it's a newer venture. What's exciting you and pushing you forward when you're waking up?
Well, for me personally, it's fun because I get to get back to my roots, right? Of agency work, where I'm helping elevate creative. We're looking at strategy. How do we reach people, on those premium programs? A lot of the OTT streaming that we see out there is, kind of based around cheap CPMs, hundreds of thousands of impressions, and dealers just don't know if it's working. So, kind of getting back to that high quality creative, we have $1 million facilities, $1 million of inventory, and then we're running, kind of cheap creative with Google Voice, things like that, right? So the other thing that I've really kind of dialed in on this is there's a lot of fraud going on in this space. It's not malicious. It's that, tech companies are smart and they're intercepting ad impressions with bots and ad spoofing and things like that. It's estimated about 30% of all streaming advertising dollars are lost to fraud.
Wow.
So we have a partnership with a DSP, a demand side platform out of New York, where we actually they actually built on the blockchain to eliminate fraud. They're using a 3-step verification process to make sure that every ad call that comes through is reaching real humans, right?
That's great. Yeah.
Look, bots don't buy vehicles, bots don't service vehicles. So if you're not reaching real humans, you're not giving yourself a chance to earn more business.
This is very true. I agree with that, because even unless they're Autobots, which we know is only on the movies, it's not happening.
That's
so. But let me ask you this question, because this is something that I love to hear from a lot of people. And I don't know if you have one instance, right?
Yeah.
Because I know your origin story is great. But was there a moment, or is there a moment that you can reference back to say, you know what, this is the moment. This is when I've determined that I love people more than I love this product?
Yeah, I think that as I moved along my career and as we kind of transitioned, I was, kind of blessed to be able to see the whole evolution of the internet.
Yes.
I've realized that we are now going back to that. We're going back to the people side of the business, right?
Yeah.
All the technologies out there is great, but if you're not helping your dealerships with the technology, it's just tech, right?
Yeah.
So a lot more is getting into the people that you are hiring and putting to use the tech, as well as just making sure that when you're talking to your customers, you're talking to them in a way that, kind of gives the story for dealerships. It's not just about inventory anymore. It's about that why buy message. It's why service message. And unfortunately, that's gotten lost over the years as we've gone more to VIN specific strategies, things like that. So I think it's going back there. I think dealers are embracing that and understanding that they have to win in other areas, and that's where DealerStream is poised to really help them.
I love that. Now, granted, and I checked under the desk. We don't have a crystal ball or one of those old school Magic 8 balls.
Yeah.
But talk to me about the future. Like, where do you see the shifts happening as we go forward in the industry and get back to, like you said, it being more about for the people and of the people? Like, what do you see in the future? Yeah,
I think that as we continue to evolve the strategy and show dealerships like how to do streaming advertising more effectively,
yes,
it's going to become more and more part of their budget, right? I think in 2023, it was about 3% of a dealer's budget was dedicated to streaming strategies.
Okay.
That is exponentially going to grow here over the next 5 years. And as we do, we have to get better strategies. We have to make sure that we're eliminating that fraud issue, and we have to go back to great creative that really brands the dealership. And that's like what I'm most excited about, because again, that's where I cut my teeth, 25 years ago. So
absolutely. Now, I know this is your third ASOTUCon, right?
Yes,
Which
sir.
is great, and I appreciate you being here. For those of the people that maybe it's their first ASOTUCon, what's a takeaway? Like something that you would say, hey, while you're here, don't miss this.
I would say don't miss the chance just to walk up to somebody and introduce yourself, right? Years ago, as I was kind of coming up into the business, I'd always say, get uncomfortable for 3 days. If you're not an extrovert, it comes easy for some people, right? They can just walk up and have a conversation. But for a lot of people, especially if they're kind of their first conference, they don't know anybody, maybe they sit a little more in the background, they're reserved. Hey, there's probably another person right across the room that's kind of thinking the same thing. Walk up and shake their hand and introduce yourselves, and before you know it, you've got a friend, you've got someone that you can collaborate with, and I think that the nice thing about ASOTUCon is that Paul and Kyle make that part of their mission.
Yeah.
So they make that comfortable with everybody to do that in a much more comfortable way, and I think that's what makes this conference unique in itself.
I love that. That's great. Now, before we get out of here, if folks want to find out more information from you, want to know, hey, this sounds great, I want to know more, I do want to make sure that, I'm getting better results, how can they contact you?
Well, obviously, we've got a lot of great information on dealerstream.com, but we were also sponsored the swag bag.
Yes.
So a lot of you probably have not looked in your swag bag yet. You just put it on your desk and kind of went on with the conference. In there, you're going to find a coffee mug that we gifted everybody, and in there is going to be a way that you can actually set up an online demo. And we'd love to talk to as many dealers as we can that are interested in kind of looking at this strategy and maybe how they've maybe had some bad results or experiences in the past.
Yes.
How maybe they can relook at it now and say, hey, what can I do with it? So
I love that. That's great. That's it. And do you think they're going to save us a plate? Like, I know we are over here talking. I think,
I hope there's something left.
I hope so, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Yes,
Owen.
sir.
Appreciate the time.
Yep.
Thanks again for providing lunch and helping with that. That's great.
100%.
Hopefully, I'll be able to enjoy it. We're going to figure it out here pretty soon.
Awesome.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Well, once again, thanks for joining us. This is Unscripted, ASOTUCon 2025. I'm Errol Bomar. We will see you very shortly. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Unscripted. At ASOTU, we're obsessed with uniting people around one big idea, that thriving people are the only path to a thriving and profitable industry. If that resonates with you, then head over to morethancars.com, join our email list, and explore our full list of podcasts.